So today we're going to consider the question, which position is more risky, a short call or a short put? Okay, let's do some drawings. Find out. So let's have a look at how this looks like. So we've got typical payoff diagrams, which I'm sure you all know about for calls and for puts. So let me draw that. Oops, not very straight. Never mind. So short call. So you've got a strike price here and then some sort of a payoff for call and put that you all remember. Let me draw the short position. So a short call would be something like that. And a short put, something like this. So, and the question is, which of these positions is riskier? Short call or short put? Right, so that's the question. What would you rather have in your portfolio? A short call or a short put from a risk perspective? Now, this is a very simple question, right? So most people are going to say, and that's pretty clear, right? You've got your payoff for a short put here hitting the y-axis at minus k, whereas for the call this goes to negative infinity. So the more risky, the riskier position is actually the short call. So let's put a tick mark here and we can all go home. However, it's not as easy because we're still actually doing foreign exchange. And in here, the picture changes and actually becomes clearer compared to standard equity options. It's funny that most options books are teaching options with equity options, missing out symmetries. So what's going on here? The main question to ask ourselves is actually what we need to put on the y-axis. So if we have a general currency pair, say euro-dollar as an example, right, then here we've got euro-dollar on the x-axis. Spot final, ST as I might label it. So ST is the euro-dollar rate at time cap T. Now what's on the y-axis, right? What unit is on the y-axis? Many times the question is not asked, but actually this is quite relevant. So in which currency do we measure the payoff? Euro or dollar, both is possible. And now which is the unit on the y-axis showing the yellow graphs? Well, it's the euro is the underlying, and euro dollar means that's a price of a euro in dollar. All right, let me note that just to make that clear. So price of €1 in dollar terms. So example 125, that means you would have to spend $1.25 US to buy €1, right? Now these payoff graphs typically are in the in dollar terms, right? That has to be made clear. When you replace euro by a stock like IBM, and you would say the IBM stock in dollars, then it's clear that everything is in dollars. You'd have to ask that question. So the standard case is that you've got dollars on the y-axis. Sometimes this is not labeled, but it's actually implicitly it's there. Now, and that goes with a payoff formula, also to refresh our memory there. This is minus max of 0 and spot final minus strike for the short call. And we've got here minus the max of 0 and strike minus spot final for the short put. Right. So now we got the graphs, you got the payoff formulas, everything is sound. Now the question is, how does everything look in euro terms? The perfectly normal thing to do is, for most euro-based banks, is what's your P&L in euros. This is not an uncommon or artificial thing to do. This is very normal. So if you replace dollar by euro, then we get a different type of payoff. Let's do the short put first. If I put the short put payoff in the right-hand side graph, so then I would have to convert whatever I see in dollars into euros. Now, how do we convert dollars to euros? We divide by the spot, right? You divide by the spot to convert dollars to euros. So if you write down your formula again, this will be minus the max 0. Same thing, copy paste. So 90% of our lives copy paste. But now divided by spot final to convert that into euros. Right. So what does that mean? No surprises. If everything is 0, it stays 0. Right? It's nothing new. But if spot goes to 0, then we would divide here by a very small number. So you see that this ratio actually blows up. And, well, you know the function 1 over x from school, right? That's a hyperbola. So what we're going to see is a branch of a hyperbola here crossing through wherever the 1 is. So it's like this. And then it goes down here, and it does, in fact, go to minus infinity for the short put. Right, quite clearly. So it's not linear, it's a hyperbolic branch. And it's just a vanilla put, short vanilla put, nothing exotic, nothing special, but plotted the payoff in euro terms. That makes all the difference. So you will see that a short put is actually not less risky than a short call. It is as risky as a short call, and all depends on which currency you use to measure the P&L. Right. Okay, got that. To wrap up, what about the short call? Well, we can do the same exercise. Now this, I'll do it for you. It would be your homework normally, but let me help you with that. So you take the same approach, minus max of 0, spot final minus strike, divide us by spot final. Now, again, wherever it's 0, it's still 0. And what happens if then spot final goes to infinity? Well, look at the formula, look at everything. ST over ST finally converges to 1 with a minus sign in front. So you've got this minus 1 here. Then everything would go there. So it converges to the level of minus 1. Is that intuitive? Right? Intuitive question. Well, what is a short call? Well, you're selling somebody the right to buy €1 from you. So what's your worst case loss? Well, you'd have to give your counterpart the euro. So that's gone. That's your worst case loss. And in worst case, from the other side, what you get is nothing. So you might get $1 million, but they're not worth anything, right? If spot goes up, you're a dollar, then the dollar becomes worthless, and therefore you get nothing. You're paying €1, get nothing back. So this is actually your worst case loss, €1. So highly intuitive, I would say. Right. So that's the message for today. Calls and puts are equally risky in FX. It's clear. In equity terms, it's not a question one typically asks, because nobody pays for options in units of stocks. But if you did that, you would actually see the same picture. Right, payoff graphs revisited. I hope you enjoyed that.